Good evening and a warm welcome to everyone. Congratulations on clearing NID DAT prelims. You are just one step ahead of being in your dream desired college. I am Prerna Nahar, design mentor at Bhanwar Rathore Design Studio. I will be taking this webinar. In this webinar, we will be discussing everything that needs to be keep in mind before giving the NID Studio test mains exam. To discuss in detail about it, we have with us Ms. Gauri Pandey, our senior most faculty. She has done her bachelor's in textile design and master's in lifestyle accessory design from NID. Hello, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So she will be taking this seminar forward. After completing a small presentation that is made by her, if you have any doubts related to it, in between also, if you have any doubts, please drop in the chat box. After completing a small presentation, we will be taking all your questions and we will be trying to answer it. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Prerna, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I congratulate you, like Prerna, ma'am, for your selection through the prelims. And we're looking forward to engage you in another round of preparation for your mains. I will take you through a presentation and we'll simultaneously continue to talk. Please give me a while. Okay, so we will begin our discussion now. So what I plan to cover through this presentation is that I will try and introduce you to the entire process of DAT mains. Then we'll talk about the weightage. We'll look at the important dates for you. They are also on the NID admissions website. And we will also continue to discuss the studio round, along with what comes in the studio rounds, how you're going to prepare for it, and certain do's and don'ts which are important for you to remember as you prepare and when you appear for your exam. So I'm sure that you have gone through your rounds of understanding of what is the studio round all about. You must have seen many videos. You must have had a talk to your friends, but you have to understand that the purpose of mains round is now more of hands-on experience for you. The NID, the institute, will evaluate you on the basis of all the skills that they did in round one, which was design thinking, which was creativity and problem solving. But the environment was very limited. They could have only tested you through pen and paper. But now through the variety of engaging tasks that they will provide you, they will ensure that they assess you and evaluate you on many things. Definitely, it will involve design thinking. That means the number one thing that you require is that you should be able to think differently. Creativity and design thinking is quite close. Meaning what? That I will talk to you more about these skills through the various tasks, but generally, you should be able to empathize with the situation that is given to you in paper. You should come up with ideas and solutions that are different. Different does not mean unique. It means that in that given situation, if somebody would have thought like that, this could have really worked out. Okay, and this doesn't seem the usual path taken. One of the most common things is that common sense is highly uncommon. As a design student, you have to bring that common sense alive in your work. All right, so I'll take you through more of this, but first and foremost, the prelims is over. It was 40%. And if we look at the weightage for mains, it is 60%. So a lot of work needs to be done. Definitely, it's time to celebrate that you've gone through, major part of it. But now you will find the cream, the best of the best will be competing. So you have to be well prepared for it. Important dates for you. The allotment of center will begin from tomorrow, 4 p.m. onwards. And it will continue till Sunday, 4 p.m. onwards. So from the 3rd of April tomorrow to 6th of April, you can choose your center. It is going to happen on first come first serve basis. You will choose from the centers, like you'll be having Ahmedabad, NID Ahmedabad. Then you'll have Bangalore. Then you have Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh. You have Kurukshetra, and you have Jorhat. So all these centers you will be will be available to you, and you'll be picking up one of the places. If you don't pick up a center, if you don't pick up an NID campus, you will automatically be assigned a campus, and once it is given to you, you will not be allowed to change it. You can download the admit card from the 11th of April, 4 p.m. onwards. The date of the exam is 3rd May 2025. It's a Sunday. If you look at the various tasks that will come for you in round 2, that means we normally will now put them into 3 categories, but we have also put other, other things together because they have a way of, constantly changing their question paper. And that means that there's no fixed syllabus, but definitely there's some fixed skills that they are assessing every time. Topping the list is sensory perception task, and we will discuss each one of them. I'm going to read through this, and then we'll talk about each one of them in detail. The second is material handling task. Of course, we all know something related to materials. And then the broad category, which has been added, and it's really something which you will be required to work, you'll require to work on, is design thinking. Problem solving is scenario-based task. I'll explain that later. And sketching and drawing tasks will always be there. And of course, you can expect more. Let's break it down and understand what it is. So the sensory perception round, it's we all use these senses, but as a design aspirant, you need to use them very well. Like they will test your sense of sight, hearing, and touch. Like, are you seeing enough? Are you listening properly? Can you feel and visualize something? Whatever is given to you. So they test these 3 senses quite a lot. The other 2 are not possible. The sense of taste is not possible. They cannot do that there. They've not done it. However, when you'll prepare for your studio round, the faculties will just give you an idea of it. We don't stress on it because that's not something which NID really can manage to handle with so many aspirants. So the 3 primary senses that they're going to look at is sense of sight, sense of hearing, and sense of touch. Now, we are going to evaluate the kind of paper that comes with reference to the last year paper, that is 2024 paper. And so I'm going to take you through a question, certain questions which have come in the sensory round, the questions that have come in sensory round, and you would be required to, figure it out. So I'm going to take you through the first one. So you're going to hear a sound now in a while, and you will be given the question paper in advance. Okay, you will be having the question paper in front of you, and then a sound will be played. You will be asked to listen to it properly, and then you're supposed to answer it. Okay, there has been a lot of variety in this also. Sometimes they give you specific sounds of things, everyday objects. Sometimes they can give you a hustle and bustle of a place. They mix it up. So basically, they're trying to test that can you identify what you're hearing? And then they also connect it to a variety of tasks, by the way. That could be a straightforward drawing task, like whatever you are hearing, can you draw that on paper? Can you scale it up, scale it down? Can you suggest unconventional uses of the same? Can you draw it in a perspective drawing? So starting from an audio clip, which can be basically anything, they will engage you into a variety of tasks. So this particular one that we have from 2025, you would be required to listen to this, and then you're going to answer these questions, and I'm going to do it with you. So let's just do it. So if you go back to the set of questions, what was the most prominent sound you heard throughout the audio? If you can write that in chat. Well, the beep sound, yes, the correct. It's actually a supermarket because we are going to break it down for you. It's a supermarket. Somebody is constantly scanning through the products. Okay. So yes, the cash counter sound that is prominent throughout that. That's correct. Then you heard there was that before the beginning of the dialogue, there was some prominent sound. What was it? Can you tell? It was sliding of the door being opened. It was a door which was opened. And the prominent sound towards after that dialogue was, it was closing of the door. So there is behind, there is a parking lot. So there is a sound coming from the parking lot. Okay, that's the sound. Yeah, there are not many sound, but the question was the prominent sound. Okay, the prominent sound. And then you're going to describe the characteristics of the prominent sound. It's actually the door. So either if it was door, so you have to explain what kind of a door it was. If it's like something being moved, you know. So if you're saying plastic bottles, then you have to describe a crate of plastic bottles being moved. So you have to describe it. That's what it means, you know, give two characteristics of the thing that you're listening to, talk about it, explain about it. Okay, that's how you're going to approach this kind of a task. So in any audio task, you know, whatever it is, you have to, any audio task, whatever it is, you would be required to definitely pay attention to the details of the sound. And you know, when you prepare for your exam with us, you will realize that we normally ensure that you get a variety of audio tasks, you mix it up in many ways so that we ensure that you get quite a lot of variety and become much more susceptible, you know, sensitive towards sounds. That's what the focus is. We'll move to the second category. So one was the sound, the second was a video. So again, the questions were given before. So the question here that they are like, you have to write the core concept. The core concept would mean that what is the central idea of this video that you're going to see, and that you're going to write in 50 words. Then the second thing is the second task was give the title to the video clip. So if you're supposed to give a title to the video clip, what it is going to be. And finally, depict the video clip as a comic strip in 3 boxes. So we'll see it now. in a question like this, if you are supposed to pick up, I'm sure that you got some idea. Some of you have already started to message. Also one of the things is that you require to have some, take some time to answer the questions. Order of doing things, okay? Somebody is answering. The right or wrong combination, operation. Okay, what about communication? Yeah, that's right. Miscommunication. Okay. So yeah, one of the ways effective communication works both ways. Okay. And also ineffective communication troubles both ways. Mutual dependency or mutual understanding. Okay. So you can write about all that. Or if you would take a theme for this video, it could be communicate to connect. Okay. You can think something like that. Understanding the idea, the whole idea is this, that the visual that they're giving you, they are trying to understand that how can you interpret this, what is your way of how do you understand what you are seeing. So it's since it's a video task, and there is a central idea. So when you get a question like this, it is required that you come up with a couple of ideas and then pick up the most appropriate. Don't just think of one idea and then go forward and finish it off. The question is not finishing it off. It is really important that you pay attention to the various details. So what happened in the beginning? The faces were pretty fine. It showed that there was a lot of two-way communication, mutual understanding of what is needed, what needs to come out. And then later what happened? It begins to get into an argument, and then finally it begins to get to a fight. Okay, so that all is a part of healthy and unhealthy communication. So that can be the central idea, and then you can pick up a title and then also do. When it says you have to make a comic strip, so basically you can either have the same thing, so nothing was spoken. So in your comic strip, since comic strip can have dialogues, you can also present the idea in form of a comic strip. That's how you can attempt this particular task. Going forward. Yeah, and the next one. So that was the second one. The first one was listening. The second was what you see. And the third one is touch. They gave a black cloth inside which there was an object, and you're supposed to feel it. You're supposed to identify the object, write its name. Then you're supposed to draw a 3D sketch of the object. In this case, they gave a small coil heater, a mini water heater that is normally used to, heat tea and coffee. Very small size heater they gave. And so if you're supposed to draw proportionately, one of the challenges that you will face in this task is proportion. While it might be really easy for you to identify the product and you say, no, I've got the product, I'm going to finish it off sketching. But the idea is that you require to really pay attention to the details. Okay, and if possible, the texture and the material. That's how the touch is related to the visual understanding of the product. So that's what they're looking forward, that can you really, even with the touch, can you really understand about the details of the product, the proportion, the texture, the material? Can you also draw it properly on paper? So they're testing many things together. So sensory perception round is actually though it is a test of senses, but it is connected to a lot of drawing work. So therefore communication, when you're communicating your ideas on paper, you work on paper. So they're also looking at that. Now we move to the second part, which is material handling. And when you are handling any material, they have given a lot of variety over the years in this category. This is one question which definitely comes. The duration of this is normally an hour. They have kept it 1 hour, while other questions, the timing for that continues to change. But this question has still been 1 hour question. So what the primary skill that you need to work on, that you have to show your ability and efficiency of working with a variety of materials. If you're given paper, you can work. If you're given wire, you can work. If you're given popsicle sticks, you work. You give any material, you should be able to work. And therefore, what we do in our classes, we engage you in activities where we bring in materials, try and combine them, ask you to manipulate them in variety of situations that allow students the confidence to work with whatever is given to them there. And that is extremely important. You will be tested of your ability of manipulating a material. That's what's called material handling. That means whatever they give you, that with respect to the task, can you use the given material, exploit its properties, and then create something what is expected? So that is something that they look forward from you. So if we look at the tasks the task that came this year, you were supposed to, the last 2-3 years, 2 years particularly, they are giving paper. Okay, they're giving paper and they are working out, the tasks are centered around working something out in paper only. They combine major material is paper. They gave 10 strips of paper, 1 inch, and 6 bamboo sticks, 6 U-pins, 6 rubber bands, square piece of stiff cloth. And they expecting that using the strips that you were given, they gave a picture of a pentagon which had knots. Okay, something similar to this was given, and they were supposed to replicate it. A picture of pentagon was given which looked like this, and you were supposed to, use these strips to make it. So when we prepare students for a material handling round, working with paper is one of the most primary skills they do. It's not restricted to making cubes and cuboids. Remember that. That's very easy to take up. When you test it in the NID paper, it goes much beyond that. How do you create various structures using variety of materials? That's the focus. So once you made this pentagon, after that, they're extending it to the second task. Make a functional model. If you read this, make a functional model using the same technique, using at least 2 other materials. So if you are given the chance where paper is not there and you're supposed to use any other material, can you do it? It should be very easy, because you can definitely use bamboo sticks, and then you can use rubber bands to hold the whole thing together and make. And sketch the model explaining the functionality of the materials used. You have to, for example, if I'm using bamboo sticks, I have to say that they're stiff enough to hold the structure and create the edges of the pentagon. And then the rubber band is flexible enough, yet strong enough to create that joint at the ends. So therefore, you're talking about the material. So this gets specific. So when you are working with material, one of the key skills that you need to know is this: that what is this? What is the thing this material can do for me and what it cannot do? If you do things with a material which it cannot do, you'll get frustrated. So that comes with practice, and students, after preparing for around a week or two, are very comfortable handling different materials. Other different kind of questions that they've asked in the past, that they've given a variety of materials also. And so they gave a question earlier that you're supposed to create a stand for cooler, 3 to 5 coolers. You have to create a stand such that if there is tea inside them, it does not spill. So again, that was also a problem solving task with materials. While this becomes more specific, that allowed, they gave something, a reference, a kind of a reference here where you're supposed to, replicate that. In 2023 also, they've done something like this. But the years before that, they have given an open-ended question also, like you're supposed to make slippers, you're supposed to make a toy. The variety of questions they give in this material handling task. And the third category, which is coming up in the last 2 years, actually 3 years, is design thinking and scenario-based tasks. This is really important to understand. What is it that they're looking at here? At core, your design thinking skills. And I will now explain you the purpose. What is design thinking? That number one, your ability to empathize. Empathize meaning you will be put in a situation and you will be asked to basically role play that. Can you really relate to this person? Can you really relate to this situation? Can you understand the problem? You have to empathize first. You have to put yourself in that person's shoes, that situation, and understand what is really happening. And then once you build relatability, you observant enough of the situation this person could be or you could be. That means practicality. You are giving a solution which is not practical, that won't work. So therefore, you have to put yourself in that situation, build relatability, come up with practical understanding and solutions which are possible in that condition. Practicality does not mean boring. Practicality also means using your creativity, your creative thinking, and connecting the dots, and that you will understand with the kind of questions they've given. Scenario based task is also the same. Basically they're going to give you a problem in a situation. Like if they give a problem like design a tiffin box is very easy, but if they put that in a situation, then it becomes quite difficult for you, meaning that you have to really think about this particular problem for this particular person in this given situation. So that's a scenario. A condition, a specific condition in a given environment. How are you going to work it out? And this year they've also started students they've stressed on writing. While years before this, we have seen that the focus is definitely on the making and the drawing. But this year and the year before, 23 and 24, they have wanted students to write as well, which is also a very important skill to be assessed as a design student. So this is a question that has come. One of the 2 questions. Rachna, a young girl who's trying who takes daily walks in her city, observes children begging at traffic signals. She wonders why these children were forced to beg, and how she can help. Some believe generosity is the right approach, while others think it may encourage criminal gangs exploiting these children. Now, the questions they have asked is this: why do you think children are forced to beg? Explain your views. Now, you're supposed to do writing. Now, again, put yourself in that situation, and then you have to think about so what it could be. It could be everything centers around money, definitely. So, money is one of the reasons why they are forced to beg. It could be, and why they need money to fulfill their needs. They could be under pressure from family, peer group, or whoever is handling them. So, you can write about that. You might have views different from mine, but then you're going to express your ideas. They're actually looking for your views. Then the second question: what action do you think Rachna can take to stop these children from begging? List 5 steps. Now, suppose listing means just briefly writing them down. You're not supposed to explain them in detail. So I came up with these ideas. So there is a possibility of we can definitely say that there can be, launch a police complaint and get those people out of there. But is that empathy? No. That could be one of the things that you can think of if you know that there is you suspect some things other than this normal begging. There's other problems, underlining problems that you can sense. And then one of the inputs in that case definitely can be that you can connect with local authorities to inspect the area, to spot and handle such groups if there are criminal gangs involved there. So once the police gets engaged, the authorities, local authorities get engaged. That can be taken care of. But other ways, what are the other things? You can connect with local schools to run an after school program, which is also a part of CAS, community action and service for many schools. Definitely in grade 11 and 12, where they're asked to do extend out their support to the sub community. So if Rachna can extend out to schools, she can work with create an after school program for these children, where they can learn, they can study, they can learn sports, and they can be also an after school meal program for them, which can help them to thrive. Other than that, supplying surplus in their inner society, she can get people together and supply surplus clothes or food from her neighborhood, with the help of teenagers who are ready for community work, social service. Other things that she can run an awareness drive in her community, teaching people about supporting these people, building empathy, engaging these children into small chores like maybe gardening or helping out now and then, so that they can not only earn money but earn some self respect. Then she can connect with NGOs and get them involved into vocational learning, things that they can learn and earn money, because the idea is earning money. So these are some ideas that you could have thought of course, many others, but some of them that I thought can be listed. Then from that, whatever you have listed, they saying draw a sketch. Now, this is a perspective drawing. Draw a sketch in A5 size. The frame will be given to you of what the beggar child sees while begging. So you have to draw it from their point of view. That's a simple drawing task. Simple, but not so simple if that's what you're supposed to draw. And then the fourth is, what do you think is the best course of action Rachna can take, and why do you think it is the right thing to do? If you see question 1, 2, and 4 are writing questions. So therefore, they're testing your ability to express your ideas in words. So action and service both, she has to take action against what she thinks is not right, and also service the pointers that you mentioned earlier. You can elaborate on one of them and then take them forward. That's how it can be for this task. Another scenario-based task that they gave this time was this one. So they gave a poster of the Amul ad that you see, major rescue, minor miracle. And this is a 2023 tunnel collapse in Himachal, and no, in Uttarakhand, and where I think 41 workers were trapped inside the tunnel, and there was a rescue operation that went for a really long time, and they all 41 of the trapped workers were rescued. Now they have given this picture. Now they are asking you, the questions are very interesting. They've described this heroic incident in 4 lines. Now, if you have seen it, so therefore general awareness. If you have an idea of what really happened, you'll be able to write about it. So we ensure that while you're preparing for round 2, we bring in these kind of questions in class so that you're prepared for handling questions other than just material handling or, sensory tasks. So this requires a lot of design thinking, ability to express yourself, in questions other than just making and, sensory perception, because it's all writing based and, perception and understanding, awareness. So all that has been, we try and take care. So, but with respect to this task, suppose you describe the incidents. And then an interesting question is that if you were in this situation, the next part of the question, if you were in this situation, which role would you like to play? The trapped miner or the rescue team or administrator or a politician? Write 6 points or draw what you would have done in that situation. What would you do in this situation? So I'd like to be in the rescue team. And then, what I think will work, I can mention it into simple points. That's the idea in this question. Like what I'll do, I'll plan a strategy, then, gather the resources that are available. Then I will, do a job allocation, discussing and identifying key roles and responsibilities of different people. Then start with the action, yani carry out the plan, whatever has been set. Then, manage the project, the entire thing that's going on, ensuring all key players are doing their part. If there is, and are we trying to meet the deadline? The deadline is that we have 41 people trapped. We have to ensure that's done fast. There has to be some kind of deadline we are chasing. And finally, evaluating and analyzing the process that's going on, the plan that's going on. So if you would have been politician, what would you do? You can think from that point of view and also mention. So you can pick up any of these and then describe. So if we look at those three categories, sensory perception, then material handling, and then design thinking and scenario-based questions, we have covered that. But we cannot always say that there is no set rule that this is the only three things they're going to continue to give. They continue to change. It could be a simple poster drawing on a topic, which can be a current affair, and then they can ask you to draw A3 size big poster using color. They can ask you to do a storyboard with certain things given to you. They can connect. They can ask you to do a perspective drawing again on a A3 sheet, in a bigger sheet. They can also add variety of tasks. Actually, basically what you've done in round one, most of it can come in round two also. It's just like a simple task. A little bit change of timing, there you get only 15 minutes to do a task. Here you get probably 30 minutes to do a task. So they're seeing your presentation skills, drawing skills directly. That can happen. Other than that, a lot more can come in actually. So we can look at, light sketching. They can take you around a place and they can ask you to, sketch whatever you are seeing directly, as simple as that. They can hold you in a group discussion. Years back, they have actually asked students to come together and spin a story. They gave words to students and you're supposed to stand in a line. 15, 20 people, students were in a line, and, the invigilator would give you words, and with each word, you're going to come out with something in that story. Somebody's going to start, somebody's going to end, and others are going to continue to spin the story. That's like a group discussion or probably group engagement or a collaborative task. Another variety of group discussion could be like they can give you a problem in their campus, which happens in MDesk, but since the questions that they're given are increasingly getting complicated, you can expect more variety. They can give you a task from their in the environment, like pick up a problem, or they can give you 3 problems from their campus and say, sit in a group of 5 or 10 and then come up with solutions. And so pick up your part, whatever you did, based on that, you draw a poster. So basically, it's group discussion, a design thinking, a problem solving, and then presentation. So they can continue to vary the task. So that's all about, what can come up for your, for the list is actually endless and exhaustive, but we have tried to, very briefly sum up what can possibly come. So we try, this period is very crucial for you, a month's time, nearly 20, 25 days, because some days you'll not be working, you'll be traveling. So all this time you need to get engaged into a routine which allows you to work on all these on a regular basis. And that's the idea here, is that we try and do that regularly in our classes, and then move, alongside, when you prepare for round two, alongside all the stress, there is a lot of fun also, because you're actually getting to do what you always wanted to do, getting engaged more and more into the real design, which is all about variety and, experimentation, exploration. So that all happens in route. There is a lot of stress, but alongside that stress, underlying stress is accompanied with a lot of excitement. So you have to, while you do all that, you have to remember what you must consider for this round. So when you're giving your exam, you must carry your admit card with you. We are saying that, I'm sure most of you might be thinking we will definitely do it, but then there are students who forget it. You must carry your card, keep everything well prepared. All the documents that are mentioned in the admit card, when you download your mains admit card, you will find details of the same. You ensure that they are put in your bag properly. Then reach the campus before time in the morning, not later. Definitely reach before. Ensure to carry all required and allowed stationery items. So in the admit card, you will have a list of items that you can carry. You don't need to carry anything other than that. The materials that are required to do different tasks, specific materials, they will provide you. Other than that, the stationery that you need will be listed in your admit card. You required to carry it. Listen to the instructions carefully given by the invigilator during the studio test. Now, you might be too involved and worried about the exam paper and how you're going to do, but it is very important to listen to the invigilator and instructions. If you don't do that, you might miss out on what you're supposed to do. So pay attention to what's been told to you inside the studio, inside the exam room. More points, what you require to consider, that read the task carefully before answering. Most of the time students are not able to do a task correctly, not that because they don't know how to, but because they've not read it properly. So you can give a couple of minutes to reading the task properly, ensuring that you've understood what's been asked. If you read a task a couple of times, you will be able to do it. Then plan your answers, model before execution. Just like any other drawing work, we always tell our students that you brainstorm your ideas a little bit, put something on paper. Before you're starting out, you need to know what you're going to do. This goes especially with models, because once you begin, you cannot change it. Focus on your work and not on others. You don't have to worry about what others are doing. Keep a track of time and finish well, meaning that you need to ensure that nothing is incomplete, everything is complete. You have completed the work within the time frame, just like round one. Use materials and resources skillfully. Number one skill, you're supposed to use a material the way it is supposed to be used and fully use it, all of it. If it is given to you, you don't need to think that I'm going to spare some. For whom? Nobody. So if needed, use all the material and use it properly. Tidy up. So if you're working on materials or whatever task you're doing, ensure that your table is also kept neat and clean after you finish. But these are small things. If you think that they are not noticed, actually they are quite noticed. So ensuring that once things are done and you tidy up your place and you're ready to leave, also leaves a good impression on the invigilator, which are constantly observing you. They are constantly observing you. And then we move to what you should not do during your exam paper. And it is very difficult to say that, but you definitely do not require to overthink about anything. Start working on a task as soon as you receive the guidelines. I'm not saying that you start making the model, but start thinking about it. Don't worry. Don't think too much. That means it's not needed to overcomplicate something. The first point is related to the second point. While creativity is encouraged, avoid overcomplicating your ideas. I want to be really the best, but that does not mean that it's too complicated to actually make it. I mean that, yeah, originality is important. You want to show your creative skills on paper, but this idea that you're going to pick up out of, say, suppose 2 ideas you're pinning down, this will require more time. Have that common sense that this is a good idea, but probably now I cannot make it. The other one will happen in time that's been given to you. So you're not complicating things, you're simplifying it. That is very much needed, because it is smartness. You require more smartness there and not, hard work. Hard work you need to do now, not there. Refrain from copying others' work. Even when you think that someone else's model, someone else's idea is better than you stick to your idea, because you don't know what ultimately is going to come up for that person, but you definitely know what's going to come up for you. So ensure that you stick to your work. Showcase your own perspective and creative thinking throughout your exam. That's what it is. They want to see what you can do, not what the other person can do. So from whatever point of view you are picking up your idea, whatever it is, you should be convinced that whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to do my best. Because with whatever you have done, you got through the first round. So obviously with continuing to present the same skills, you should get through the second round as well. So there is no need to doubt yourself. And a few more don'ts. Avoid panicking under pressure. Stay calm and focused. When you're sitting for your work, there might be a time that that the time is about to end. At that very moment, you have to, first and foremost, you can split your work a little bit in time frame. Like, I ensure that within this time frame, I should be able to finish my write-up. I should be able to complete the basic structure of my model. And that comes with students. Once students begin to practice, they constantly put their effort, they are more or less able to complete the work within the time frame. So there's no need to put unnecessary pressure and avoid, and therefore that pressure might lead you to, spoiling something. So stay focused, stay calm, and that's extremely important. Once you are calm enough, calm and composed, you will do good work. Do not write your name and other details anywhere on the model or sheet. Ensure to write your details only where it is instructed in the paper. No need to write your work on the model because they'll take care of it. You will be given a particular place, whatever it is, whatever the invigilator tells you, work it out according to that. No need to mention your name or other details anywhere. So that's about it. I have tried to cover most of the details that I had to. In case you have any questions for us, you're most welcome to put them in the chat box and we'll love to answer. And from my side, I wish you all the best. Hope that together we'll ensure that you get through the second round and get it in style. So over to Prerna, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Each and every detail was covered. I hope students will get an advantage of it. I'll share what courses we have so that you can get yourself enrolled with us and start preparing for the same, because the weightage, as ma'am said, it is 60%, really very, very important. So NID Studio Test BDS 2025 preparation. So telling about Bhanwar Rathore Design Studio is a premier design institute in India. We have 80 plus centers in India and we started in 2005. BRDS has emerged as best art design and portfolio consultancies, guiding over 5,000 students every year. What programs we have, starting with NID DAT Mains 2025 5 days free workshop. So free workshop is something where you get in basic knowledge about what covers in studio test, doodling, audiovisual, introduction on creative thinking, design concepts, working on themes, 3D model making, solving of original paper. So you will get a basic idea about what is going to come in the exam. Full preparation till the entrance exam date. So everything here will be covered. We are starting batches soon. So it will be full preparation. First 15 days, we will be covering the course and then the revision will be there till the entrance exam date. Your 3D model making, working on different themes, solving of original papers, audiovisual perceptions, creative thinking, everything what is required will be covered. Home coaching pack. If you feel like that you can't take the offline classes or online classes, it is difficult as you have other commitment, then you can opt for home coaching pack. So in this home coaching pack, you will get a 10-day course preparatory videos, studio test workbook, 150 plus studio test practice exercise, 10 years original papers, 100 plus video lessons, 30 plus other portfolio samples. So you will get everything in this particular package. And you can prepare 20 artworks also. Stationery material will also be there inside. So once the registration is done, we will courier the material at your postal address. We will try that you will reach the material in 4 working days. If you don't want that also, then you can opt for online learning portal, which is a short only the LMS part. So we have our own software learning management system. We will be providing you the access so you can, see the videos, learn by yourself. With it, you can take a 5-day free workshop as well. Registrations are open. Our forms are available on the website, that is www.rathoredesign.com. Batches we are starting is from 7th of April 2025. If you are confused, if you want to know more about it, then you can call us on 9825057598. So this is our official number. You can call us on this number to get more details. When we talk about our result, NID till now 2,162 students cleared, which is highest in India. When we talk about result in 2024, there were more than 262 students who qualified. So here, NID 2024 result, 449 qualified, 262 students selected in NID. So qualified students are different and the students who went to NID is different. So 262 students, all top 10 ranks were from BRDS. 230 students in top 100. You can check our result on our website, rathoredesign.com as well. We challenge that no other institute can be better in terms of coaching, highest result producer. So thank you very much. If you have any Q&A, please drop in the chat box. We will be answering all your questions. Gauri ma'am will be answering all your questions. So if you have anything you want to ask.
There is a question in the chat that somebody is asking. Shesh is asking that it's unusual to prepare uh, for the for the mains. It says, how can I start my preparation and spend my day, because it feels unusual from the preparation for prelims. Definitely it is different. While I hope that if you're connected with us, then you will have a structured routine, because we structure our classes and therefore students are assigned work accordingly. But otherwise you have to ensure that you regularly draw, which is a part of the second round as well. And then you have to ensure that all the activities that we discuss, all the tasks, categories we discuss, we continue to do every day. The round two has to be different from round one. It cannot be the same. There is a second question. Model making should be more focused on aesthetics and functionality, more functionality than aesthetics, because the task will be more towards the functionality of a product. Uh, there are not many questions in an ID where they focus on the look of the whole thing. And like what weightage both of them play, there is no weightage, the entire weightage is 60%, but definitely functionality, because the questions are like that, in which, because in this question also, if you see the pentagon question, they focused on, if you're using different materials, making the same pentagon, what are you going to use it for? You basically have to understand the task, and then you have to connect it with the use of materials. So you're going to use the material only when you know its functionality, therefore it is still connected to function. That's how it is. Total time given for studio test at the center, well, up to, not more than 3 hours, maximum 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, somewhere between that. The marks allotted for each questions will be mentioned there. And you are allowed to carry the normal wristwatch, but you have to check the admit card. I'm not sure, but basically even watches are not allowed. They have the clock there, and they constantly tell you the time. That's it, ma'am.
So yeah, there is one question. Cutting mat to the center. Can we carry cutting mat to the center? No, right? They cannot carry that.
No.
Okay. And is there any center selection that they should do?
Yes, starting from tomorrow, 4 p.m., they can log on to the website, and they have to make a selection.
Any preferable center they are asking that according to you? It's
It
not
depends. It depends on you.
whichever is nearby, you can go ahead with that. Ma'am, does model making has to be without the usage of adhesives as it was some time in previous year?
Yeah, basically, if you see the task that they gave was an origami task. In origami, you will not use an adhesive. For the visual tests, are there right or wrong answers, or do they consider our point of view? Visual test. I don't know what you mean by visual test, but if you're talking about this, I don't know, you have to specify that.
Interview session, Nana Mittal is asking, there will be an interview on the same date?
There will be no interview for videos. There is no interview.
In Bachelor's of Design, there is no interview and portfolio part. Xiaomi, we will be covering all the course starting from 7th of April. So everything, whatever is required, studio test, 3D model making, audiovisual perception, solving of original paper, mock test papers, everything we will be covering in the upcoming session. Material, it is written on the admit card that only you have to carry, nothing apart from that. Do we need to bring the physical portfolio? Mithra Rajkumar is asking.
For BDS, you don't require any portfolio. There is no interview. You will go for a studio test. That's all.
Pranjal Patankar, for the model, is uniqueness more important or is functionality and practicality more important?
Well, the questions that they give, they will end up, your model is going to look unique itself. The questions are very unique. So your model will turn out to be unique even if you don't want to. But in this question, the one they gave last time, there was no question of functionality. You have to understand the task. It's very important, children, that you understand the task. The functionality in the question of 2025 model making was not there. It's about replicating the idea. Can you work effectively with the materials, manipulate the materials, and create that? You have to understand the functionality of the given material, not create a model which is unique. Sometimes uniqueness may work, but I'm telling you again and again, in the NID paper, the question itself is quite outstanding. It's very different. So you would be requiring to put all your understanding of materials to complete the task. The idea of it being unique will not even come to your mind. It's not even there. It will not work out. If it's a simple question like you're supposed to make a trophy, which also came last time, after completing a question and making the model, making the given, replicating the idea in paper, whatever they gave, is supposed to also use the same idea to create a trophy. Their uniqueness is required, yes, because they're asking something, it's an open-ended task. Therefore, your individuality of ideas will work there. So yeah, there in uniqueness will work. Otherwise, there is no scope of uniqueness, not required.
So batches for NID Studio test mains, we are starting from tomorrow, not 7th. So batches, fresh batches, we are starting from tomorrow itself. So Thursday, you can get yourself enrolled today till evening. 8 o'clock, our centers are open. Online registration forms are there. If you are already in touch with the counselor, you can contact them. They can also share the form to you. You can fill the form and start your classes tomorrow itself.
I think that's it, ma'am. There's just one question. Visual perception means the scenario-based design thinking task. Yes, your viewpoint will matter, but they need to be a combination of practicality and understanding. Yes, it will definitely matter. It doesn't have to be similar to anyone else's view.
That was it for today's webinar. Thank you very much for attending. If still you have any doubts, please call us on 98250-57598 is our number. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, your valuable time.